Hi, it's Greg from Curry Country Living, and today's episode we're going to be talking to a couple of different people here at Holiday Mountain. We're going to be talking to Abe Sawatsky about some snowmaking. They finally got some cold weather here in the Pembina Valley in Larivire, Holiday Mountain, and they've made some tremendous amount of snow in the last little while. They'll be opening up more and more runs. And then a real treat, we're going to be talking to Ron Bamford. Ron is an icon in the area. He's going to be celebrating his 80th birthday here next month, and he operates one of the Snowcats. We're going to talk to him about some of the challenges and what goes behind the scenes as far as getting a ski hill ready. So have a look. If you haven't already, consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribing to the Curry YouTube channel. The other thing I'm going to throw in there is that we have an Airbnb just 5 minutes down the road from Holiday Mountain. So if you've got a small family, check out those A-frames here right on site. If you've got a larger family that needs more space, give our Airbnb site a shout. It's 2,400 square feet, lots of room for multiple families, and something for the kids to do when they're not on the slope. Have a look and enjoy.
Hey folks, my name is Abe Sawatsky. I'm the general manager over at Holiday Mountain Resort in La Riviere, Manitoba. And welcome to our resort. As you can see in the background, we have a snowmaker going. This is one of the earlier models that Noel himself got built in the area from some of the local tradesmen, and it's going away here. So we're really excited about this cold weather because these old guns really do well in this cold weather, and we've really been able to make some snow in the last week.
So how many snow machines can you run, Abe?
Well, we have a few different varieties of snow guns. We have this style, and we have some newer ones, and a few sticks, which they all require different volumes of water to run. So we run anywhere from 4 to 8 snow guns of the different varieties at a time.
So I just came from the far hill. I believe it's called Crescent or Turner, or Champagne Bowl, I believe it's called.
Yep.
And you've got some huge piles over there. And basically what happens next is the groomer comes in. Can you kind of run me through that?
Yeah, so we've been kind of stockpiling there to make it more efficient for the groomer, so making some piles. It's been really productive the last week, I'd say. The amount we've made in the last week probably compares to what we've done the last month. Like, it's just unbelievable what this cool weather can do for snowmaking. So the guys just go and make a bunch of piles, and then once we feel we have enough on the run there, then we move over and the groomer comes in, he levels it off. And so yeah, they're on Champagne. We've been trying to make a little bit extra with the terrain park going there. You need a little bit more to bury the features in, so we're really excited to get that going in the next couple of weeks, opening up the terrain park.
With the warm weather, you were able to get at least over the Christmas break, I think you were able to get at least 5 runs open, but now they're going to be opening up pretty quick, I think, with the colder weather.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen quick now. So if things stay this cool and everything works well, I don't see why 2.5 weeks we don't have the rest of the hill done, groomable. So that's just such a change from the past. Like, talking to some of the guys that have been here for a while, it sounds like we haven't made snow here at Holiday on Champagne or Barkley in many years, and now we got a bunch of snow on there. It'll be groomed, and it's looking really awesome.
Right on. Thanks, Abe.
Yep.
All right, so welcome to Curry Country Living. Today we're going to jump in the I call them the piston bully, but it looks more like a Bombardier. There's a bunch of different names for these things. And Ron Bamford from La Riviere, operator, is going to be going through some of the things that he does with this machine. So it's a multi-purpose machine. They've got several different types of units here at Holiday Mountain. When I was snowmaking, one of the things that we used to get in trouble for is making huge piles in one spot, just because we didn't have the equipment to move them. But now they have the equipment to move them, and we're going to go for a little ride in one.
I'm Ron Bamford.
And where do you live, Ron?
Right across the highway from Holiday Mountain.
And what are we up to today?
Well, we're going to take a little tour in the Snowcat, up one run and down another possibly, and show you around.
Right on.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those days with the other fellas here, and yeah, they're putting a wire probably, no, underground.
Yeah.
Between the two spots there.
So did you drive the old piston bully that used to be here?
Yes, I did.
Is it similar to the Snowcat?
Yes, it's actually started on a piston bully, and then we got into the Bombardier machines here. It's been back and forth, and we had one or two piston bullies between the last Snowcats, like the Bombardiers, and what we're running today is now a pre-knob as well.
Yeah. So today's Tuesday, which is a nice day, right? Because they're closed for the skiing, so you don't have to worry about any skiers or anything while you're doing some of the grooming.
That's right. We normally do all our grooming at night.
Yes.
After the lifts have shut down for the day.
Yeah.
And it works out very well. It makes for a late start. 3 nights of the week when there's night skiing that goes until 10, then we start after that.
Yeah.
But normally closing at 5 o'clock during the weekdays, we get an earlier start.
And I know we have the Snowcat. What's the other unit that you have there? What can you tell me about that other unit?
Well, the other two are pre-nops.
Okay.
They just purchased them this past summer. Came from the States, and we have one here and another one that's not far away at Manitoba getting some shop work done on it.
And what's the big difference between them and the Snowcat? Was one bigger than the other, or?
No, basically the same for horsepower and identical tillers. They're adaptable to most makes.
Yeah.
And other than that, the pre-knobs have the steering sticks in a different location than what we're using today. They're off on the side, and there's advantages and disadvantages for that. It all depends what you're doing. A lot of ski resorts, they quite often do more grooming than actually pushing snow. So the sticks on the side are okay for that, but we do a lot of backing up on our ramps for unloading, and it makes it a little more awkward. The sticks located here are more central, and overall we prefer these.
So I was saying, Ron, years and years ago when I made snow, that the night crew, which I basically was on, would have been in a lot of trouble for making piles that big that you have, because we didn't have the horsepower to move them. But it doesn't seem to be a problem with these cats.
No, it doesn't. They've kind of got away a little bit more from moving the snowmakers like we feel they should, and they're gradually getting back to doing more piles rather than one large one.
Yeah.
We get up on top to start our pushing, keep peeling the piles down level as we can, and it's a little more awkward. A good example is the one that you just photographed over there.
Yeah.
Being so high, and it takes a little work to get it down to a workable level.
From a snowmaking standpoint, though, not having to move them very often is nice, as far as not as much risk breaking a hose. You know, if the wind's in the right direction for you, you're good in one spot. And plus, they have quite a few more machines than we used to back in the 90s and 2000.
Right.
So
originally, it started with 3 when you were here making snow with Darren and Jeff. And yes, they went into some other, the Lenko models and the Polecats. And the first for this area is the Snow Guns.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Ron, but I'm going to guess that you've probably got seniority as far as years out here. Like, what? You're coming up on a pretty big birthday here pretty soon, I think, unless you've already hit it.
No, it's on until February, Greg.
Oh, you already hit it.
No, coming up in February.
Oh, this come February, yes. So you're about to. And how old will you be, Ron?
I'll be 80.
So for anyone that didn't catch that, Ron's 80 years old. He probably puts in a longer day than a lot of us young fellas that come out here. And but you've worked at the chalet. What years did you work at the chalet before? Do you remember?
I started in 1992.
Okay.
The golf course was just a little over a year old at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a little while, a couple of seasons before I got into the Snowcats.
Yeah.
Started with the piston bully.
But you have a, if I remember rightly, like you have a background in mechanics as far as, I think you used to work on airplanes way back in the day. Were you not an airplane mechanic?
Yes, actually grew up around backhoes and gravel trucks, learning to steer them, and my brother Lyle when he sat on Dad's knee sort of thing. So it all sort of comes naturally to some of us, you know, to get into a Snowcat or a similar piece of equipment. And yes, on the aviation side of things, I started on March 9th, 1963, so it was 60 years this past March for that, and been an aircraft owner since I was 19. So it all ties in, the mechanical into it.
Yeah. So right now, just tell we're tilling. We're actually tilling right now, and you're just going up Ridley and down McCougarty, is that?
Our patterns vary depending, sometimes if there's just one machine doing it or we're working two, Warren and I will sort of split it in half, and yeah, it's the time with a game like you say, we're being closed today. We could get an early start on this if we want to continue on, which we likely will later. We have those two crews here today, so we kind of got to work around them a little bit. But, no, other than that, our busiest time here for the Snowcat operation, part of it is early season. Naturally, with the snow, we got to push, and then it gets more routine, shall we say, when we get into just our grooming.
Yeah.
And there's no distinct pattern. It's just like doing a lot of other things. You sort of develop a routine and you stick with it. You vary a little bit from one day to the next.
Yeah.
Other than that, it sounds maybe complicated, but it's really not in a sense.
Have you had to use the air conditioning in here yet?
No, never had to. They're a very comfortable machine, you know, for cabin heat, and you can pretty well get down to your shirt sleeves if you want to, but no, there's no shortage of warmth in the wintertime.
I know I was taping you a little bit over on what I call Crescent, or I guess it's called Champagne Bowl now, with the big piles, and you left there, and I asked you why. Can you tell me why you left that hill?
Well, if it's all possible, it's a lot better if the snowmakers are shut down and clear of there when we start pushing. Visibility being the big thing today, and not being able to see much around the pile. And the fact is that that one machine has to be moved before we can start to level the pile that's just behind it anyway. So it'll all work out. It's better to wait, and then when we go in there, you don't have to be concerned about backing up or anything.
So it reminded me a little bit of seating on a really windy day on summer fall and going in the wrong direction with the wind and losing the seat path. It's kind of the same, like with the amount of fog and everything over there, you were having a hard time seeing where.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of things are that way, and with snowmaking, just a slight variation in the wind can make that a big change in the pattern. And no, very seldom we get into a situation. Normally, we make the snow, then we go in after.
Yeah. Is there much, I guess, maintenance to these, Ron? Like you fuel them up, they've probably got some grease points on them. Check the oil. Hydraulics is probably a big part of this machine.
That is true. A Snowcat really is a very high maintenance piece of equipment.
Yeah.
if the people that operate them follow the manufacturer's recommended check sheets, you know, and service intervals, fine. But if you get one that's just being used, shall we say, and they get behind on their maintenance, then it can get very expensive to get things brought up to where it should be.
Yeah. So just getting back to the snowmaking a little bit, again, second year under their belt, we had a pretty warm, what I would call late fall, early winter. We had some above normal temperatures, which kind of set them back a little bit, but now they've been making up some great time with the colder temperatures.
That is right. We're gradually working here at the resort. In fact, next year they hope to put in all new water lines so that they can put more volume and pressure through, run more machines, and reduce the length of time that it takes to make snow for the season. If they can get the right temperatures even late November, the target is sort of Christmas to have everything done and the machines parked. But they will be able to make more snow at warmer, like milder temperatures than before. In the past, as you probably know yourself, when you made it, it took about -10 Celsius to really be good.
Yeah.
And they're working on a much higher temperature value on that in the future.
Do you find quite a difference between that -20, 25 degrees snow and the snow they make at -10?
There is a difference, but you know, at one time, the thing was to try to make snow, obviously whenever they could, but to make it so it ends up dry. Well, we find now it doesn't really make much difference. We actually prefer to push the wet snow, because on the slopes, on the runs, once you put it there after it's been pushed, it's just like it's cemented to the ground, and we can back up. We don't have to worry about traction or anything like that, and it'll be there until it melts in the spring.
Yeah.
No, one time that was a thing. They didn't like moving the wet stuff, but it's turned around to be opposite pretty much.
Yeah. Well, we're down at the bottom again, Ron. I don't want to take too much of your day up, but thanks very much for talking to me. And any special plans for your 80th? Will you be on the hill?
Well, knowing me, I just might be. Warren and I, we're night people here again, and we work through the night. You get used to it. It's just a short 4-month season.
Yeah.
So it's just something, if you want to do this line of work, you have to accept it and continue on.
Well, I know you're on, and I know you're doing it because you enjoy it. You enjoy being part of a group of people and working together and stuff.
Yes,
and I'm not saying this because you're standing beside me, but you do a great job too.
Thank you. So, and for what it's worth, I was here the very day Holiday Mountain opened, January 23rd, 1960. We all stood over here by what is now the bottom of the green chair, and the official opening for the ceremony, and no later, the owner at the time cut the ribbon. Morris Ridley, the MLA for this area back at that time, he put the power on. And Bill Ayers from Winnipeg, historically the first person to go up on a lift, and it was a pommel lift, where the green chair is today.
That's where the green chair is today.
Right.
And that was 1960.
1960, January 23rd.
So I'm doing the math really quick, but that's 63 years ago.
It was.
So you would have been 17-ish.
Yeah, I would have been. Well, I was born in 44, so.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, Ron. So,
and also
so I'm going to get out of here, and I'm just going to follow you a little bit with this GoPro, and then I'm going to take the drone up. So if you see the drone somewhere around you, then
they're amazing, aren't they?
They're a fun machine. I never got my pilot's license or fly, but this is the next best thing for me. So
yeah.
All right, so that was an interview with Ron Bamford, who's about to turn 80 years old in February. And he was just telling me that he was here when Noel opened up this chalet in 1960. So a lot of history operating that machine right now. And you can see the tiller in the back. And that's what gives that really coordinated run. And when Ron was talking about the ski lift being opened up, it's exactly where that green chair is behind us. That was where the first run and the power was put on, just like Ron described it.